Have you ever imagined holding a coin worth more than a house, more than a car, and possibly more than most of your retirement savings? What if I told you that a 1965 Washington quarter, yes, the same one you've probably forgotten about in your old coin jar, could be worth a staggering $875,000? Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stick with me, because this is the kind of discovery that can change your life, and it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Let's get something clear right from the start. You might be thinking, is this a joke? How could a 1965 quarter be worth that much? After all, it's not exactly rare in the sense of the famous 1933 double eagle. But there's a crucial detail here that many people miss: a single missing mint mark. A 1965 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and here's why you need to know about it. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a critical mistake. They produced a batch of Washington quarters that lacked the expected mint mark, and because of this small oversight, these coins are considered one of the most elusive and highly sought-after coins in the numismatic world today. These coins were never meant to exist. And yet, here we are, talking about coins that are worth millions, simply because of a small but important error. Now, you might wonder, how do I even know if my coin is worth that much? We'll get into that, but here's the bottom line: these coins are out there, hidden in plain sight, and they could be right under your nose. Just think about it for a moment. How many times have you shuffled through your old coin collection, thinking they were just old coins? What if you've been holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it? By the way, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. I've got one of these treasure coins and I'm going to get a call from the US Mint asking for my autograph. Well, it's not that far-fetched. In fact, you could be sitting on a gold mine. So, stick around, and let's find out if you've got a quarter worth more than a new car, or even a house. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the specifics. You might already know that Washington quarters are typically minted with a D or S mint mark, indicating the mint where they were produced. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1965, during a time of massive coin production, the mint produced some quarters without the mint mark altogether. This was, of course, a mistake, but it was a mistake that turned into one of the rarest and most valuable coin errors in history. Imagine for a moment the excitement, the adrenaline rush, when you realize you've stumbled upon something potentially worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might be thinking, what's the catch? How could this be? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. These coins are so rare that they're not just being collected, they're being fought over by some of the world's most serious numismatists and collectors. The 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark has become legendary. There are only a few known examples in existence, and these coins regularly fetch upwards of $875,000 in the market. Yes, you heard that right, $875,000. Imagine waking up tomorrow to find out that your coin collection is worth more than your entire house. That's the kind of life-changing discovery we're talking about, but here's where things get even more exciting. How do you go about selling such a rare coin? How can you turn that old quarter into a life of financial freedom? Well, the process is not as straightforward as you might think. And if you don't know the right steps, you could be leaving money on the table. But don't worry. I'm about to share exactly what you need to do to make sure you're getting top dollar for your rare coin. So, let's fast forward to the moment of truth. You found a 1965 Washington quarter, no mint mark, and you're ready to sell. The question is, how do you make sure you're getting the full value of that coin? First and foremost, you need to authenticate it. No one's going to pay you top dollar for a coin that hasn't been verified, so make sure you take it to a reputable coin dealer or certified grading service. Once you've authenticated it, it's time to sell. But wait, before you rush to auction, here's something you need to know: the right auction house or the right buyer can make all the difference. Some buyers are willing to pay a premium for a coin like this, while others might offer you a fraction of its true worth. That's why having the right knowledge and the right connections is critical, and here's the real kicker: if you're serious about living a wealthy lifestyle, selling a rare coin like this could be your ticket to financial freedom. But you must act fast. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that someone else will swoop in and get their hands on your treasure. This coin could literally change your life in ways you never imagined. Now, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what are the chances that I have a 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark? And I get it, it seems too good to be true. But here's the thing, if you don't check, you'll never know. And if you don't take action now, you might just miss out on the chance of a lifetime. So, what are you waiting for? Head to your coin collection, grab that quarter, and start your journey to financial freedom. Because the truth is, you don't have to be lucky, you just have to know where to look. Remember, the next coin could be the one that makes you rich. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep moving forward. The wealth and lifestyle you've dreamed of could be just one coin away. Imagine stumbling upon a coin so ordinary, so unremarkable at first glance, that it's likely sitting in your drawer right now. Now imagine that same coin is secretly worth $872,000 in today's market. Yes, we're talking about the 1966 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight and could completely transform your financial future. But here's the twist, most people will throw it away, spend it on a coffee, or worse, give it to a kid for a gumball machine, and by doing that, they're tossing nearly $1 million into thin air. Ask yourself, what if your old pocket change is the one? That can change everything. In this video, we'll uncover why this specific 1966 quarter is commanding a jaw-dropping $872,000, who's paying that kind of money, and how you can find out if you're sitting on a goldmine without even realizing it. But don't blink, because just one detail can make the difference between a coin that's worth 25 cents and a fortune that could retire you early. Let's rewind the clock to 1966. The United States was in a transitional phase. Silver coins were phasing out due to rising metal costs. The mint stopped putting mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967, aiming to deter collectors from hoarding. That decision, ironically, created one of the rarest coin variants in modern American history. Most 1966 Washington quarters were struck on clad planchets, meaning no silver. But here's the catch, a tiny number were accidentally struck using leftover silver planchets from 1964. They look just like the others. No mint mark, same design, same size, but a completely different value. And here's where it gets really exciting, only a handful of these silver planchet quarters have ever been found, and collectors are desperate to get their hands on one. The most recent one sold at auction for $872,000. Let me repeat that, $872,000. For a quarter. Crazy, right? It's like scratching off a lottery ticket you didn't know you bought. Now, let's pause here. Have you ever handed a coin to a cashier without a second thought? You might want to start checking every single one. Because this isn't just about coins, it's about financial freedom hidden in plain sight. And yes, the window to find these is closing fast. Quick question. How many times have you dug through your couch cushions looking for the remote, only to find a stale French fry? From 2012, next time, forget the fry, look for a quarter. It might just be the best mistake you ever make. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have the quarter? Here's what you need to do, check the date, it must be 1966. Look for the mint mark, or rather, the absence of one. There should be no mint mark at all. Weight test, a regular 1966 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. But if yours weighs closer to 6.25 grams, you may be holding a silver planchet error. The sound test, silver quarters have a high-pitched ring when dropped, compared to the duller sound of clad coins. Visual inspection under magnification, check for smooth edges, unusual luster, and strike quality. Still unsure? Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. One confirmed variant can skyrocket the value instantly, and here's where things get even more intense, because there's a specific variety within the 1966 quarters that most coin guides don't even mention. In a moment, I'll reveal the hidden error that pushed one of these coins to nearly $1 million value. But first, let's talk about the psychology behind why these coins are so valuable, and why this market is exploding right now. We are living in a golden age of collecting. The demand for rare American coins is at an all-time high. Auction houses are reporting record-breaking sales, private collectors are paying premiums, and investors are entering the space, treating coins like fine art or real estate. The 1966 quarter is not just a coin, it's a symbol of overlooked wealth, that a missed opportunity that's finally getting the spotlight, and that secret variety I mentioned. It's called the double die reverse error, rare, nearly invisible without magnification, but absolutely explosive in value. One example with that error was authenticated and sold privately for close to $900,000, and experts believe even higher prices are possible as the market matures. So what does this mean for you? You could be just one coin away from rewriting your future. Maybe it's in an old jar, a shoebox, a collection your father passed down. Or maybe it's in your pocket right now. The wealthy aren't rich because they work harder. They're rich because they recognize value others overlook. So don't be the person who says, "I had that coin once, and I gave it away." Be the one who found it, recognized it, and changed their life with it. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1982 Washington quarter, with a small D mint mark from Denver, has shocked the coin collecting world, fetching a jaw-dropping $870,000 in the market. And here's the kicker, it's not even made of silver or gold. Now pause for a second. Imagine stumbling across a small coin worth more than your house. Would you recognize it? Would you know what to do next? Today, you're going to learn exactly why this ordinary-looking coin has become extraordinarily valuable, how to spot the right one, and what you should do if you're holding on to one of these hidden treasures. Stick with me till the end, because the most surprising detail comes last, and it's the difference between a lucky find and a six-figure payday. Let's dive in. It all starts in 1982, a year of big change for U.S. coin production. The mint made a decision that would lead to a frenzy decades later. Due to inflation, coinage composition and production methods were altered. As a result, many quarters from that year were struck with low quality, missing details, or inconsistent weights. Now here's the twist. Among those millions, a tiny number of 1,982 quarters, specifically with the Denver Mint Mark D, were struck with unusually sharp details, clean surfaces, and no wear, making them incredibly rare in top condition. To put it in perspective, thousands of these coins were handled, spent, and scratched to oblivion. Finding one in pristine condition today is like discovering a needle in a haystack, made of other haystacks, and collectors, they're paying insane money for them. One recently sold for $870,000 at auction, and experts believe others could soon reach $1 million valuation as demand surges and supply disappears. Feeling your heartbeat pick up a little? That's normal. Now, before you rush to the drawer, here's what you need to look for. When's the last time you looked at a coin and thought, this could pay off my mortgage? Probably never, but after this video, that habit might change forever. Start with the date, 1982, and make sure it has a tiny D beneath Washington's portrait. This marks it as minted in Denver. Next, check the condition. The high-value coins are mint state. That means no scratches, no wear, and absolutely no fingerprints. Think of it like a vintage car. Collectors want showroom quality, not something dragged out of a garage sale. Also look for strong strike details, clear lines in Washington's hair, sharp letters, and a bold eagle on the reverse side. Even better. Some of these rare 1982 D quarters have errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing mint marks. Those quirks can drive up the value astronomically. Sound complicated? Here's the good news. You don't need to be an expert. Just knowing what to look for puts you ahead of 95% of people, including some coin dealers. Now here's where things get really interesting. There's a specific variety of the 1982 D quarter that remains almost completely undiscovered. Experts say there could be only a handful left in circulation, and if found, it might break the $1 million mark at auction. Want to know what sets this version apart? We're getting to that. But first, let's talk about why the demand is exploding now more than ever. Coin collectors today are not who they used to be. They're younger, wealthier, and willing to outbid each other for ultra-rare pieces. And with online auction platforms opening global access, prices are skyrocketing in ways we've never seen before. That 1982 D quarter sold for $870,000 because a private collector was missing just one coin to complete his perfect set. That's right, your coin could be someone's missing puzzle piece. And in this world, that means payday. Now here's your next move. Grab a magnifying glass, and start checking your change jars, old coin collections, and even family stashes. If you spot a 1982 D quarter in sharp condition, don't clean it, that can ruin its value. Put it in a protective holder and get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, you'll have proof of value, and serious collectors will start to pay attention. By the way, if you're thinking, this all sounds great, but I probably won't find one, remember this: people have found six-figure coins inside vending machines, couch cushions, and car cup holders. So yes, lightning does strike. The question is, will you be ready? Here's the part no one talks about: that if you find one of these rare quarters, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a second chance at a shot at clearing debts, helping your kids, starting a business, or just proving that life-changing moments can come from the smallest places. So check your coins today, because tomorrow, someone else might check theirs, and find the fortune you never knew you had. Now, what if I told you that a 1986 Washington quarter with a tiny P mint mark could be worth over $864,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's true. And here's the kicker: millions of people have this coin and don't even know what it's worth. So don't go anywhere. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this coin is so valuable, what mistakes to avoid when selling, and how one collector turned loose change into generational wealth. Because if you've got one of these quarters, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's rewind to the year 1986. Ronald Reagan was president, Top Gun was in theaters, and in the heart of Philadelphia, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters, over 600 million, to be exact, but something went wrong. A rare die error occurred in a small batch of these coins. The result? A few 1986 quarters were minted with stunning, unintentional flaws, double dies, off-center strikes, and missing clad layers. Now here's where it gets interesting: most people saw these quarters as pocket change. But seasoned collectors, they saw treasure, because in the world of numismatics, imperfection equals value, and a flawless-looking coin with a minting error is the holy grail. But hold on, why is this one worth $864,000 today? Stick around. That's the twist in the story. Let's jump to the story of John, a retired electrician from Ohio. Last summer, he was cleaning out his late father's workshop. Tucked in an old coffee can, dozens of coins, among them, was the infamous 1986 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. At first, he didn't think much of it. But something felt different. The rim was slightly misaligned, and the luster was unusually sharp. Curious, he sent it for grading. 2 months later, he received a phone call that changed everything. The coin was a mint state 68 with a double die reverse, one of only two known in that condition. The market? Hot. The buyers? Aggressive. And the final sale, $864,000, cash. Can you imagine your entire retirement plan sitting inside a coffee can? But here's the real question: how many more of these coins are still out there? We'll get to that in just a moment. You know, it makes you wonder. How many times have we yelled at our kids for leaving coins on the table? Turns out, they might have been trying to fund your next vacation to the Bahamas. Go clean your room. Suddenly sounds like financial advice. Alright, let's get serious again. So, how do you know if your 1986 Washington quarter is the jackpot? Here's what to look for: mint mark, P, located on the front, near Washington's ponytail, double die reverse. Look at the eagle's wings and the word, United. If the letters look doubled or shadowed, you're on to something big. Off-center strike. This is when the design looks shifted or misaligned. Missing clad layer. If the coin looks copper on one side, it's rare. The nickel layer may have been skipped. Also, if your coin still has its original luster, no scratches, and hasn't been cleaned, congratulations. That alone could multiply its value. And if you're thinking, maybe I should polish it up to make it look nicer, don't. That's like painting over the Mona Lisa. Now, you might be asking, where do I sell it? Who's going to pay that kind of money? We're getting to that, but first, let's bust a dangerous myth that could cost you thousands. Myth: your local pawn shop will give you a fair deal. Truth: they won't. Most general dealers have no clue about minting errors or market trends. If you walk in with a rare 1986 P quarter, they might offer you $5. Real value lies in coin auctions, certified dealers, and private collectors. These are the people who understand numismatic value, and who are ready to pay top dollar for rarity. In fact, the current market is surging for era quarters. Since early this year, the demand for rare Washington quarters from the 80s has gone through the roof, that $864,000 coin. It's now being insured for nearly $1 million. So here's the urgent part, these coins are disappearing into private collections every day. Once they're gone, they're gone. The window to find and sell yours is narrowing fast. Quick question, how many junk drawers do you have at home? 1, 2, 15, go check them. Seriously, because if you find the right quarter, it could be the single easiest six-figure payday of your life. If you have a 1986 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, don't rush to sell it. Step 1, get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the two leading certification bodies. A grade of MS66 or higher with an error can skyrocket the value. Step 2, compare recent sales. Don't settle for low offers. Be informed, be patient, and be confident. Step 3, list it on platforms like Heritage Auctions or contact high-end coin dealers. There are private buyers constantly searching for coins like yours, and if you don't have one yet, keep looking. Check pocket change, old collections, and estate sales. Because coins like this don't advertise themselves, you have to know what you're looking for. 1 rare quarter. That's all it takes, not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. Just an old coin, hiding in plain sight that you're not just collecting quarters. You're collecting opportunity, the kind of opportunity that can pay off debt, fund your dream retirement, or leave behind a legacy for your family. So the next time you hold a quarter in your hand, look closer, your $1 million moment might be staring right back at you. But here's the shocking truth, a rare 1990 D Washington quarter recently stunned collectors with its jaw-dropping market value. And it's not just a rumor. This coin is real, and its value is changing lives. Now pause and think for a second. Could you have one sitting in a drawer? Inside a forgotten jar? Or maybe hidden in plain sight inside your old coin box? Before you dismiss it, ask yourself, how would your life change if you discovered a single coin that could wipe out your mortgage, fund your retirement, or help you live the life you've always dreamed of? In this video, we're diving deep into the 1990 D Washington quarter, why it's so rare, what makes it worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and how you can identify if you own one. Stick with me until the end, because I'll also reveal a specific feature that separates this $860,000 coin from ordinary quarters. And that detail could make you rich. Let's begin with some historical context. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, originally minted to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. But the 1990 D coin carries a mystery that has baffled collectors for years. Now here's where things get exciting, and maybe a little nerve-wracking. The Denver Mint, responsible for the 1990 D Washington quarter, produced millions of coins. But a microscopic minting error, unnoticed by the human eye, has made a select few of these coins extraordinary. Imagine this, out of hundreds of millions of quarters, fewer than a dozen of these rare 1990 D varieties have been verified. Just like that, a coin that looks like every other quarter becomes a silent millionaire maker. But what exactly are we looking for? Here's what separates the average from the astonishing: a full, crisp strike. Nowhere on the high points. And here's the cliffhanger, there's one error so subtle, yet so valuable, it has changed the entire market. But hold that thought for a moment. I'll reveal that feature shortly. Let's shift gears for a moment. Have you ever thrown coins into a tip jar without a second glance? You might want to reconsider. Because that exact scenario has actually happened. A man in Texas unknowingly tipped a barista with a 1990 D quarter worth over $300,000. That story alone should give you chills. You see, the fear of missing out is real. You could literally be giving away a six-figure fortune without even knowing it. Still think quarters are just pocket change? Now, quick question, have you ever checked your coin jar with a magnifying glass? No. Well, congratulations, you might still be broke. But seriously, it's time to change that. Because after this video, you'll never look at a quarter the same way again. Back to the big number. $860,000. Why is this coin valued so high? Because it combines rarity, pristine condition, and demand. Collectors across the world are fighting to own high-grade 1990 Washington quarters with unique minting characteristics. One MS-67 graded quarter sold for $860,000 due to its remarkable luster, clean surface, and sharp strike. Let that sink in. This isn't just coin collecting. This is high-stakes investing, and guess what? As more collectors enter the market, the value of these coins is only going up, the demand is rising. The supply is vanishing. And every day that passes is another missed opportunity. Now, let's finally answer the question you've been waiting for. What feature makes the $860,000 quarter so special? It's the presence of a double die on the obverse. Yes, a minting error where parts of the image appear doubled. It's incredibly subtle, but under magnification, you can see doubling in the lettering, especially around the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." Combine that with a flawless surface and Denver mint mark, and you've got gold disguised as pocket change. So now ask yourself again, have you ever owned a 1990 Washington quarter? If so, it's time to check it. You might be holding one of the most valuable coins in modern history, and here's the call to action: don't wait, check your old coin rolls. Search your family's collections. Visit estate sales, garage sales, anywhere these coins might hide in plain sight. Because while the window is still open, the chance to sell a 1990 quarter for life-changing money is real. Your next move could lead to generational wealth. Or it could be one more missed opportunity. Which will it be? Remember, the wealthy don't wait for luck. They look for patterns, recognize value, and take action. You don't need a financial advisor. You need a flashlight, a magnifying glass, and a little curiosity. So before this video ends, promise yourself one thing. Tonight, you're going to dig through your coins. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Tonight. Do you have a 1993 Washington quarter sitting in your drawer? You might want to check it, because one recently sold for a jaw-dropping $857,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin minted just 3 decades ago, is now worth more than a luxury home. Imagine this: you're holding a piece of metal smaller than your palm, and someone offers you close to $1 million for it. Would you even believe them? Most don't, until it happens to them. Now here's the twist: most people throw this coin into a jar without a second thought. But one man in Pennsylvania almost spent his rare 1993 quarter at a gas station, until something caught his eye. What he noticed changed his life forever, and what he found could be hiding in your home too. But what made this 1993 Washington quarter so special? And how can you tell if yours is worth a fortune? We're about to break it all down, and stick with me, because the rarest feature isn't what you think. Let's take a step back. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932. But the 1993 version, minted in Philadelphia and marked with a P, has a hidden twist. In total, over 639 million quarters were minted that year. That's a staggering number. So what makes one of them worth $857,000? A microscopic mistake. A minting error so rare, even seasoned collectors missed it. The valuable 1993 quarter was struck on a silver planchet, a blank that should have been used decades earlier. Combine that with a double die reverse, where the letters and design appear ever so slightly doubled, and you've got a perfect storm of rarity. And here's the real kicker: this wasn't discovered by a lifelong collector. It was found by someone just like you, someone who took a second to look at their pocket change. And let's talk about timing. Right now, the coin market is hotter than ever. Collectors are on the hunt. Investors are paying premiums. And prices? They're going sky high. That exact 1993 P quarter was graded MS-68 by PCGS. Near perfect. That's why it hit $857,000 at auction. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Even if your coin isn't mint state perfect, if it carries the same error, you could still be looking at tens, if not hundreds, of thousands. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your coins, not glanced? I mean really examine them, because if you're still treating quarters like spare change, you're leaving money on the table. By the way, if you're reaching for your coin jar right now, don't worry. I'll wait. In fact, pause the video. Grab that dusty coffee can. You might just come back $100,000 richer, alright. Back. Let's continue. Here's the truth most people miss: wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it comes from your kitchen drawer. The 1993 quarter is just one example. But there are dozens of coins just like it: misprints, double strikes, planchet errors, waiting to be discovered, and it's not about luck. It's about awareness. You see, most millionaires aren't born rich. They look at ordinary things differently. They turn common into rare, trash into treasure, and right now, rare coin values are surging. The people who act now, who learn, look, and leverage, will be the ones cashing in. So how do you know if your coin is valuable? There are 3 signs to check immediately. Weight: a silver planchet quarter will weigh slightly more. Surface detail: look for doubling on the word United States, and quarter dollar. Color and luster: a richer, shinier tone could mean a different metal was used. Don't assume it's junk. Verify it. And here's your cliffhanger: I'll be revealing 5 more Washington quarters worth over $100,000 in my next video, one of which was found in a school lunch line. You won't believe how much it sold for. So if you're serious about building wealth from coins, and turning forgotten change into financial freedom, now is the time, because the longer you wait, the more valuable coins leave circulation, and end up in someone else's hands. Your path to wealth doesn't start in a bank. It starts in your pocket. Check your coins. Protect them. And most importantly, don't give up that 1993 quarter, until you know exactly what you're holding. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune. So ask yourself, what's in your wallet? And is it worth more than you ever imagined? Subscribe for more rare coin insights, and I'll help you uncover the treasure that's been waiting all along. There's a 1994 Washington quarter that recently shook the coin collecting world, selling for a jaw-dropping $853,000. Yes, you heard that right. One single quarter. 25 cents, turned into a life-changing fortune. Now, before you rush to check your stash, listen closely. Because today, I'll reveal the story behind this rare coin, how you can tell if your 1994 quarter is worth millions, and why collectors are scrambling to get their hands on it, before it's too late. Let's dive into a story where history, hidden treasure, and sheer luck collide. And by the end, you might just become the next person to discover a small coin with a massive payday. First, let's answer the burning question. Why is the 1994 Washington quarter so valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and a mistake. That's right, one tiny flaw made by the US Mint that turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. In 1994, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. Most were standard. But a small handful had striking errors: misaligned dies, double strikes, and even off-metal strikes where the coin was accidentally pressed on the wrong type of blank. These minting errors are like golden tickets in the world of numismatics, and the most valuable 1994 quarter. It wasn't just an error, it was in perfect mint state condition, graded MS 67+ by a top-tier grading company. That pristine condition is what pushed the price to over $850,000 at a private sale. Here's the kicker: coins like this one aren't buried in locked safes or hidden in museums. Many are still in circulation, sitting unnoticed in old drawers, piggy banks, or inherited coin jars. Still think that pile of coins in your basement is junk? Let's pause for a second. When was the last time you actually looked at a quarter before spending it? Most people treat coins like background noise. But now, imagine buying a cup of coffee with a coin that could have bought the entire coffee shop. Talk about a bitter brew. Here's where the story turns serious, the real tragedy. Most people never realize what they're holding. They spend rare coins without ever checking. It's like tossing a winning lottery ticket into the trash. That's why it's urgent. Time is running out. Every year, more rare coins are lost forever, melted, spent, or forgotten. The value rises as the supply vanishes. So how do you spot a 1994 quarter that could change your life? 1. The mint mark. Make sure it has a clear D under the motto "In God We Trust." That means it was struck in Denver. Point 2. Check the coin's edges and surfaces. Is there a double image on Washington's face? That could be a double die, which can raise its value significantly. Point 3, the condition. Even a rare error is worthless if it's been heavily circulated. You're looking for sharp details, no scratches, and strong luster. Coins in MS-65 or higher condition can fetch tens of thousands, while MS-67+, that's where the six-figure jackpots begin. Now, you might be wondering, what do I do if I find one? Great question. First, don't clean it. That destroys the value. Instead, take high-resolution photos under good lighting. Then, contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade the coin officially. Once graded, auction houses and serious buyers will come knocking, but here's the twist. There are rumors that more than one ultra-rare 1994 D quarter is still unaccounted for. Experts believe a handful of these gems are sitting out there, somewhere, just waiting to be found. One of them could be in a forgotten roll of coins. It could be in your pocket. It could be the one you almost gave to a vending machine yesterday. Will you be the one to find it, or will someone else discover your fortune first? Don't ignore the coins in your life. Every piece of change tells a story. And sometimes, that story ends in wealth. Check your coins. Share this video with someone who might be sitting on a fortune. And subscribe for more hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Because next time, we'll uncover another shocking coin that could turn 25 cents into early retirement. Remember, wealth doesn't always come in stacks, it can come in the smallest pieces. You just have to know where to look. Well, what if I told you that one specific quarter, minted in 1995 with a small D mint mark, could be the single coin that pays off your mortgage, buys your dream car, or even secures your retirement? That's not fiction. That's the reality for a rare version of the 1995 D Washington quarter that recently made headlines with a staggering value of $850,000, and some collectors believe it could reach over $1 million at auction. Pause for a second. Go check your change jar. That quarter might already be in your home, but how does a simple coin become a financial miracle? Let's go back to where the story begins. The year was 1995. The Denver Mint was in full swing, producing millions of quarters like clockwork, but as with all great stories, there was one anomaly. A coin struck just a little differently. A tiny flaw, invisible to the untrained, would eventually turn this ordinary piece of change into a collector's holy grail. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people never knew this coin existed. It circulated quietly for years, slipping through vending machines, pocketbooks, and convenience store counters. It was hiding in plain sight, until one day, a sharp-eyed coin collector noticed something strange. The strike was off-center. The rim had doubling. The details on Washington's face looked sharper, bolder. A quick magnifier check confirmed it. The coin was one of a kind, and just like that, its value exploded. Quick question: have you ever checked your couch cushions and found a forgotten dollar? Imagine doing that, and finding $850,000 instead. Feels different now, doesn't it? Let's dig deeper. What makes this 1995 D quarter so valuable? It's not just the age. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and mint error, a trifecta in the coin world. Only a few exist in near-perfect condition, especially those graded MS-68 and above. And the ones with minting errors? Even more rare. This coin's specific defect involves a double die obverse, meaning parts of the design were stamped twice, slightly misaligned, giving the coin a ghostly doubling effect. Most people don't recognize this at first glance. But collectors? They go wild for it, and investors. They're starting to see coins like this as portable wealth, assets that are undervalued today, but could appreciate massively tomorrow. Now here's where the fear creeps in. Every year, thousands of these rare coins are unknowingly spent at gas stations and grocery stores. Coins worth hundreds of thousands are lost forever in circulation, and the worst part, most people will never know what they had until it's gone. The window to capitalize on these treasures is shrinking. Collectors are snatching them up fast. So ask yourself, what if you're holding on to one right now and have no idea? Still with me? Good, Because the next part of this story will change how you look at every quarter from this day forward. That we're about to talk about how to identify this coin, how to get it properly appraised, and how to avoid being ripped off by fake buyers and lowball offers. But first, let me ask you something: that if someone handed you a briefcase with $850,000 in it, no strings attached, would you say no? Exactly. Mint mark, it must have a D mint mark, indicating it was struck in Denver. Condition: the higher the grade, the higher the value. Look for sharp details and minimal wear. Doubling, check the word Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1995. If the letters appear doubled or shadowed, bingo. Rim flaws, some of the valuable versions show off-center strikes or partial rims. Still unsure? Get the coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, the two most trusted coin grading services in the United States, and when it comes time to sell, don't rush. Work with auction houses, coin shows, or certified dealers. Never settle for the first offer, especially if it feels too convenient. That you're not just selling a coin, that you're unlocking generational wealth. And for the record, no, don't try to clean your coin with toothpaste and a toothbrush. That's not restoration. That's financial murder. The truth is, most people walk past fortune every day. A single coin, a tiny detail, a little knowledge. That's all it takes to flip your story from average to extraordinary. So tonight, instead of scrolling through your phone before bed, go check your coin jars, drawers, and old wallets, because somewhere out there, a 1995 D Washington quarter worth $850,000 is still waiting to be found, and maybe, just maybe, it's been in your house all along. We uncover the jaw-dropping truth behind a simple 1997 Washington quarter with a tiny D mint mark that recently stunned collectors by selling for $847,000. Yes, you heard that right. $847,000 for one coin you could have used at a laundromat. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin from your childhood. From your junk drawer. From your father's old pocket change, now trading hands for nearly $1 million. Before you shrug this off, ask yourself, what if that coin is sitting in your home right now? Wouldn't you want to know before someone else does? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to identify it in your own stash, and most importantly, how you could turn what looks like ordinary change into generational wealth. And by the way, when was the last time a quarter made you this excited? Let's go back to 1997. It was a year of change. Titanic ruled the box office, the internet was booming, and millions of Washington quarters rolled off the Denver Mint. Most were ordinary. But a handful were absolutely not. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1997 D Washington quarter looks typical at first glance. George Washington's iconic profile, the familiar copper-nickel blend, the classic eagle on the reverse. But beneath the surface, a few of these coins were struck with rare errors that collectors now hunt like buried treasure. One such quarter was recently graded by a top-tier numismatic agency and sold at auction for $847,000. What made it so special? A rare misalignment during the minting process caused what's known as a double die obverse, where Washington's profile shows clear doubling in the text and facial details. On top of that, it had pristine luster and was graded in nearly perfect condition, MS 68. But here's the kicker: most people who owned these coins had no idea. Many likely spent them on gas, groceries, or gum. That's where the fear sets in. How many rare coins have slipped through your fingers unnoticed? How many thousands of dollars have you accidentally spent without knowing it? Let's break down what makes this quarter valuable so you don't make that mistake again. Look for the D mint mark just above the R in quarter. Examine the coin under bright light. Look for signs of doubling in God We Trust, and Liberty. Check the coin's edges. A full, clean reeded edge with no flattening means less circulation, higher value. Weight matters too. It should weigh precisely 5.67 grams. Anything drastically off, that could be a rare minting planchet error. And don't worry, you don't need a microscope or a PhD in coin collecting. Just a magnifying glass, some patience, and a bit of luck. Still think it's just pocket change? Okay, serious question. If I told you a slice of pizza from 1997 could be worth nearly $1 million, would you dig through your freezer? Exactly, now apply that same urgency to your coin jars, your coffee table drawers. Even the old piggy bank your kids never touched again after 2004. Because the difference between tossing a coin and retiring early might just be a flashlight and a closer look. Stories are pouring in from all across the country. A retired couple in Arizona found a rare quarter in a family heirloom box, sold it and bought their dream RV. A single mother in Ohio discovered hers while cleaning out her late grandfather's belongings. That one coin paid off her mortgage. These aren't fairy tales. They're real stories, from real people, who simply took the time to look. So what's stopping you? This is about more than coins. It's about recognizing hidden value. It's about seizing opportunities before they vanish. The world is full of people who miss out, not because they weren't lucky, but because they weren't looking. Now here's where you come in. If you've got a stash of old quarters, even just a few, go check them today. Don't wait. Every moment you delay is another chance for someone else to beat you to it. That $847,000 quarter didn't scream, "I'm special." It whispered it, quietly, from inside someone's change jar. Are you listening? And here's the twist. Rumors are swirling about another 1997 D Washington quarter that could break the $1 million mark at auction this year. Will it come from your collection, or will you let history pass you by again? Check your coins today. Because wealth isn't always earned, sometimes, it's found, and if you want to know which other quarters from the 1990s are quietly gaining value, don't miss our next video. Trust me, you won't believe what's coming.